What's up, Facebook Live, Periscope, YouTube? How y'all doing? Happy Friday. It is truly Friday, you guys. And what an exceptional day it is. I'm excited to be on here with you guys. Come on in, come on in. Building. Who's here? Who's here? Come on in. Come on in. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. Where are you tuning in from? So that I can know who's in the house. Y'all, can I tell y'all it's cold in Florida today? This morning, I came out. I was cold. It's nippy out here. And I'm going to work out. I'm like, I don't know about this. Great morning. So, you guys, today's topic. This is a topic that I could talk about all day, every day, because I believe that I am the epitome of, listen, everybody has their journey. Take yours unapologetically. It's your journey. Listen, I think one of the most challenging things for me as a parent to realize was that no matter what I wanted for my children, their journey was always going to be theirs. Like, it didn't matter what I wanted them to avoid. It didn't matter what I wanted them not to have to go through. None of that mattered, because their journey was absolutely their journey. And because of that, I found myself with my older kids really working hard to create a path for them and to push them on that path. Listen, no, just go over here. No, just go over here. Just go over here. Just go over here. And what happened was I found that I built some resentment. Good morning. Yes, thank you. So, as I got older, I began to realize that, being a prophet is a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, you see things in advance, or you see how things are going to turn out, and so you want to avoid it, so you do everything in your power to make them avoid it. Hey, puppy. Yeah, it's a little dog over here, y'all. It's cute. It's just looking at me. He look like his master, too. They both look like, but, you want to protect people from going through certain things. And, I realized that I can't. That's not what the gift is for. The gift is to give people wisdom and insight and to allow them to choose their path. So, instead of simply giving the word, I want to give the word and direct it. And it doesn't work like that. So I found myself frustrated. I found people frustrated with me. And I had to learn that that's not my job. It's not my job to stop things. It's not my job to make things happen. It's my job to declare what thus saith the Lord, and then let it be what it's going to be, and let people take their journey and let it happen the way that it's going to happen. Now, having said that, the same is true in my life, right? In my life, there are things that I'll see, and I'll see it like way in advance, right? I think my sight is just like, and so I'll see things, and it'll happen. People will come back later and say, oh, my God, remember some years ago when you told me X, Y, and Z? Well, it happened, and I immediately thought about that word you gave me. So I can be seeing, in the future, but it may not be like in the next couple of months. It may not even be in the next year. What I may be seeing maybe years down the road, but I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So I had to learn that. I had to learn that the gift is the gift, right? And I see what I see, and I say what God releases me to say. Notice I didn't say I say what I see, because I can't always say what I see. Sometimes I have to see it and not say it. Oh, my God, that's a word right there. Sometimes I might see it and not be able to say it. I see it, but I can't say anything about it. I see it, but I can't tell the person. I see it, and all I can is pray because I see something, right? But I can't say what I see. And so this journey that we're on, listen, you got to take yours just like everybody else has to take theirs. So I learned to let my kids take their journey. I learned to not just be hands off. It's not that. It's I try to make them do it, if that makes sense. I don't try to make them do it. I make suggestions. I can tell them what I see, but I don't try to make them do it. I just don't, because it creates too much resentment. So they'll take their journey and they'll go on their way, and then they'll discover some things, and then they'll come back and they'll be like, Mom, you know what? I realized this. I said, you did? And they'll be like, yeah. And I was like, okay. They'll be like, did you see that? Well, yeah. Well, why didn't you say anything? Because you wouldn't have received it from me. See, some things people just won't receive from you. It's not that they won't receive it. It's that they won't receive it from you based on your relationship. So because of your relationship, they might not receive that particular word from you, but they may receive it from someone else. And that's why it's good to have people in your life that you trust that flow in the prophetic, because what it does is it allows them to speak to people in your family and speak a word to them that you can't speak to them, or you can speak it, but they might not receive it. So that's what I've learned to do. Now, in terms of my life, I learned that my life is my own, right? My life is my own, and it's a journey that God and I are on. And I know the song says, my life is not my own, to you I belong. Yes, that's true. But this journey is one that I'm taking, and God is guiding me on it. And as he's guiding me on my journey, it may not look the way people want it to look. It may not look the way people think it should look. It may not flow the way they think it should flow. That's not my problem, and that's not my issue. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is we make other people's perceptions of our journey our issue. It's not our issue. You let people take their journey. Let people go on their path. Let people do what it is that they're going to do, and you do the same thing. Don't be scared to take your journey unapologetically. And people who can't appreciate your journey, it's okay. Maybe their time in your journey is over, or maybe, they're only to be in a certain confined space in your journey. Whatever the case may be, again, it's not your issue. That's not your issue. It's not your job to figure it out, to fix it. None of that is your issue. So let me tell you what Dr. V's issue is. My issue is, or my challenge is, to live my life and to take the journey that God has laid out before me. I got to do it. And knowing that people won't always agree. But I feel like God has been preparing me for, people not agreeing with what I do all my life. All my life, I've been kind of the rebel. I've been the outlier. I've been the forerunner. I've been the trendsetter. I've been the one that's a frontiers person, the one that goes ahead. And so because of that, I know most of the time people can't imagine what I'm talking about. They can't relate to it because many times it hasn't been done exactly the way I'm doing it. And so therefore, they're just like, operating off their experience, and their experience says this can't be done. I appreciate you sharing your experience, but your experience is not necessarily mine. And that's what I have to remember, is that my experience won't necessarily be someone else's. Take your journey and take it unapologetically. As I am going through another divorce, I've noticed that some people have slick things to say, little slick things, like, okay, it's a little slick, but I hear something in it. See, this is what you got to know about me. For me to get to the point where I'm actually going through a divorce means that I have come to the conclusion that it is the conclusion. Like there's nothing more positive that can come out of it, right? Like from here, anything that happens, it could turn real, real bad. And so rather than do that, I choose to exit. Now, you can judge that, and you can say that's a lack of commitment to my vows. You can say whatever you want to say. That's not my issue. But listen, I know this. I know the relationship that I have with God, and I know God and I talk, and you'll never make me feel bad for a decision that I made ever in life. You hear me? You'll never make me feel bad because I know how God and I communicate. And I know when God is speaking to me, and I move on God's word. And so when God says do something, I do it. When God says move, I move. If it doesn't look right to y'all, I don't care because y'all are not God. And unfortunately, too many people, especially people in the church, they know God and don't know how God moves. See, it's funny to me that people will be in the church all their life and say all these things that God won't do. God wouldn't do this. God wouldn't do that. God wouldn't tell you to this, and God wouldn't tell you to that. Well, listen, since you know the voice of God so well, why is it that things are not manifesting in your life? I'm just asking a question. Inquiring minds want to know. You've got to know that your journey is yours, and there's a reason that you're on your journey. Every time I tell someone that I've been married 5 times, I always discover that there's someone in the audience, someone who's watching, who's been married multiple times, and they feel so bad about it, and they feel like they have no value, and like they'll never get married again, and like God can never use them, or they've been married as many times or more times than me, and they're saying, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. See, every experience I've had is to liberate other people, right? I want to liberate other people. I'm liberated. I know that no matter how many times I've been married or divorced, God loves me and he uses me, right? He uses my testimony. He uses my story. I know that. So when I refuse to release it because I'm afraid of how people are going to look at me, and I'm not being obedient to God, there's a reason. Y'all, I promise, there's a reason. For everything that you've experienced in your life, there is a reason for it. And while you can't see it right now, because, listen, honestly, you're at eye level. But if you get an aerial view, when I look at an aerial view of my life, I'm like, my God, okay, now I understand why this happened and why I had to go here and why you connected me with this person. Like, I'm telling you, y'all, we got to stop worrying about other people and really focus on what it is God is doing in our life. When you do that, you'll take your journey unapologetically. I'm willing. And that's the thing that God knows about me. I am willing. Whatever it is that he asked me to do, I'm willing to do it no matter the ridicule, no matter what people think, no matter what people say, no matter how people feel. Like, I'm willing to do it. And I'm willing to go all in with God. Go all in with God. So what? People don't get it. So what? They don't understand. So what? Somebody wants it to be something different. So what? If it's time for something to be different, I've got to go with God. I've got to do what God said do. And if you do that, I promise you, your life will begin to manifest the blessings of God in great abundance and overflow. And you'll discover that God will open doors and he'll put the right people in your path at the right time. Everything coming together, creating a synergy that's life-changing. See, we're spending all our time trying to get balance, but really what we want is synergy. We want all of the pieces of our life to work in unison with one another, you know? We want them to flow smoothly. We want to be in that flow, and that's my determination. I shall walk in the flow of God. God, I just want to be in your flow. I want your wind to my back. I want you pushing me forward. I want to know that I'm not fighting upstream. I'm going with the direction that you're blowing me. And that's what God is doing in this season. He's blowing a new wind. Here we are. We are almost at the end of the month of November, the 11th month of the Gregorian calendar. And what to say about it? Some of you have given up on the rest of 2020, you know? You'll keep hearing me telling you, 2020 is not canceled. 2020 will not be done until December 31st is finished. That's when 2020 is over, right? Then all bets are on, right? Everything God has promised you, you still got time for it to manifest. Watch what God does. Watch how God moves. And watch, listen, just the presence of God in your life show up and cover you and comfort you and magnify the glory that's on your life. So today, as you're going throughout your day and you are looking at your life, do this for me. Listen to God. Do what God says and take your journey unapologetically. You know, one of the reasons that I love my daughter so much, well, all my kids really, I can honestly say that I have raised young people who know how to take their journey for themselves. even if mama don't like it. I really taught them, listen, this is your life. You've got to live it. You can't live it with regrets. You've got to live it. If you want to be a boss, be a boss. Bosses make decisions and assume consequences. That's what bosses do. Everybody wants to be a boss and reap the rewards of being a boss, but nobody wants to deal with the consequences that come from being a boss. They're both, right? So, I've always taught them, make decisions for your life. You analyze it. I taught them to be critical thinkers, critical consumers of information. And then once they've done all that and they make a decision, hey, I'm not going to fight with you on your decision. That's your decision. You make a decision, hey, that's your choice. You do what you do. Consequences, whether good or bad. Like, I'm going to support you. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to disown you. And so I'm glad that I created thinkers and adults who can make decisions, especially my boys. I love that my boys make decisions because I can't stand a man that can't make a decision. That drives me plumb crazy, Like, how are you a man and you can't even make a decision? Like, what kind of man are you, And I think that sometimes we've created situations where men feel like they're damned if they do, damned if they don't when it comes to decision making. When I'm going to tell you, if you're a man and you're watching this, I need you to man all the way up and make decisions. Listen, I'm going to tell you something about women. I said this before, so y'all, this is a free nugget. I'm a strong, independent woman. I am. Listen, there's no doubt about it. I am a boss. I make things happen, all of that. I'm going to tell you something. For a woman like me to be in the presence of a king, and I'm going to tell you, listen, and you don't have to say you're a king. To be in the presence of a king, that energy automatically translates over and creates a certain type of response. It just does. It automatically translates over. Don't be afraid to be a king. Don't feel like, because the world has I don't know, the church really has messed some men up, like, for real. A lot of men sometimes feel like they have to do whatever a woman wants in order to get a woman. Now, that's a lie from the pit of hell. Now, listen, I'm not going to tell you I don't want what I want. I want what I want. But when a king says no, and the way that he says it is everything. If a woman knows that you love her, that you're for her, and you ain't even got to be in no relationship with her, but if she knows, if she can feel that you're for her, then you can say some stuff to that woman that somebody else might not be able to say. And honestly, there's something about the strength of a man that is so exhilarating to me. Like that is exhilarating. It is a major turn on to be in the presence of a man who is a boss for real, and not just a boss in word or name only, but I'm talking about a boss not only who talks about it, but is about it, who makes things happen, a man who is a solution finder, a man who is a decision maker. Like, that makes all the difference in the world. Like, you can love God, but if you can't make a decision, you're not following God, because God is a decision-making God. He is a decisive God. Listen, he's not just tossed to and fro. He's not that. He's not double-minded. Like, literally, God is about, okay, go left, go right, do this, do that. So as a man, I really want you to tune in to the God in you, right? Tap into the God that exists within you. Plug into that. Tap into your God nature, because there's a reason that you're created in the image and the likeness of God, because we are supposed to operate like God on the earth, right? We are to operate in dominion. We are to operate in creation. We are to operate on the earth as God operates in the heavens, okay? So, men, this is my word to you. Listen, a real woman won't be intimidated by your manhood. Now, if she's intimidated by your manhood, she's not the woman for you. And I also believe that women respond to the sound of certain men. I just do. There's certain men that for a particular woman will produce a certain reaction. So that's what I'm going to say to you guys. Make sure that as you are on your journey, that you are plugged in, tapped in, and you are able to maximize your journey, knowing that God is absolutely in control. And he's so much so in control that he has positioned you for everything that you desire to manifest in your life. So, men, man up. Women, woman up. Do whatever it is that God has called you to do. Take your journey unapologetically and know that God is on your side. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Be blessed. Mwah.